All right, what's going on, everybody? So this weekend we got Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. So I'll be giving my predictions for this matchup, giving key to victories for both fighters, and ultimately giving my predictions on how I think the fight's going to end up. But real quick, before I get into the video, 96% of you guys aren't subscribed, so if you like boxing, influencer boxing, UFC content, I post 3 to 4 times a week on this channel at least, so make sure you guys subscribe. I appreciate you. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm very excited about this fight because Oleksandr Usyk is one of my favorite boxers. He's actually my GOAT, to be honest with you. If you look at what he's done, moving up in weight classes, especially the heavyweight out of all weight classes and doing what he's done, he hasn't lost. I know there's a whole debate about the body shot with Dubois, but we'll get to that, trust me. But I'm very excited about this fight because Oleksandr Usyk is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters on the planet, and Daniel Dubois is just scary because when he lets his hands go, you really don't know what's going to happen. You really can't ever fully count him out because of his size and pure power. Before I get to the predictions, let's go through the tail of the tape. So, Oleksandr Usyk is 38 years old, so he's nearing the end of his career, definitely. He is 6'3", 23-0, and a 78-inch reach. Just not saying the weight here. Then Daniel Dubois is 27, 6'5", 22-2. 78-inch reach also, and that's it. So 38, man, it is very crazy that Usyk is doing this well at that age, because that is crazy. You usually see boxers, especially at heavyweight, regress at like 35, 33 years old, but now we see Oleksandr Usyk at 38, probably at the best that he's ever been in his career. Maybe not from a speed aspect, from a technical aspect, definitely. Especially with his 2 wins over Tyson Fury, which we'll definitely get to. That was the main difference in the first fight, because from a technical aspect, Oleksandr Usyk was just way better than Daniel Dubois. And to be fair, I'll get to it in a second, but I don't think that should be Daniel Dubois' game plan to be technical with Usyk. Because in the first fight, the footwork, the angle changes, the level changing, the feints, all of that for Oleksandr Usyk were way better. Especially the feints and the way he changes the levels. He mixes up body shots, and that's how he sets up his straight left hand that he's so efficient with. And that's the thing with Daniel Dubois. He doesn't really jab. He doesn't really move his head. He doesn't really level change. He throws some very good body shots, which hurt Oleksandr Usyk in the first fight. Definitely, in multiple occasions, he was able to land that body shot. Not even talking about the controversial one, but the one thing Daniel Dubois was very efficient with in that fight was the body shots. And that's really it, to be honest. He wasn't really able to do everything else. And here's the thing about the first fight, right? I'm going to say it now. People talk about the body shot and the controversy. Sure, it definitely looked low, but it definitely looked clean at the same time. I think the groin protector shot into his nuts is what I think it happened. I don't think he got hit in the nuts. I think the groin protector shot into his nuts. And obviously, in the moment, Oleksandr Usyk is not going to know the difference because how hard Daniel Dubois hits, it probably pistoned into his shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what I mean. Besides that one round, that's probably the only round that Daniel Dubois won in that whole fight. I know if he wasn't able to recover, who knows what happened. I understand that, but Oleksandr Usyk is very resilient. And I think Usyk was winning every single round of that fight, besides that one where he got knocked down. And he ended up finishing Dubois anyways. So that's what I mean by I don't think that changes much about this prediction, because it was a great body shot, but it doesn't really determine like for sure what's going to happen in the next one. And ever since they fought each other, to be fair to Daniel Dubois, has been more active. He fought Jarrell Miller, Hrgovic, and Joshua before this Usyk fight. And Oleksandr Usyk, I think, just fought Fury twice. Yeah, he only got 2 fights against Fury. And to be fair, the age difference, it makes sense. Dubois is only 27, so him being active makes more sense. It doesn't mean Oleksandr Usyk wasn't training. I'm sure he does, because he's like one of those people that's obsessed with boxing and training. Let's do key to victories for both fighters before I give my overall prediction. Let's start with Daniel Dubois. Now, footwork alone, this is going to be tough, but he needs to corner Oleksandr Usyk, get him into the corner, and just let his hands go. Literally just let his hands go. He has to go for it, or else he's going to lose, because he can't jab for jab Usyk. He can't outstrike him. He's going to have to just wail on him, and I say get him into a corner. There were a couple of times in the first fight where he was able to do that, but with Oleksandr Usyk's footwork, it's not going to be that easy, because Daniel Dubois is going to have to fight on the inside. Even though they have the same reach, Oleksandr Usyk's footwork makes things a lot more complicated from a jab perspective, and fighting at range. Oleksandr Usyk is going to be 10 times better at Dubois at range. So Dubois is going to put Oleksandr Usyk's back against the ropes and just throw. He's got to, after off of Alexander Usyk's jab, you just got to throw overhand. And I know it sounds easier said than done type of prediction, but that's the only chance he has. Because we saw against Anthony Joshua, when he just throws, he is extremely dangerous. If he throws 100% chance on your chin, he's probably going to drop you. So, yes, to the body shots, obviously, but just, you got to throw, you got to get him against the ropes and do a head to body to head combo. There were a couple times where he looked for it in the first fight, but it can't be as simple as hook to the body, hook upstairs. Usyk is too good for that. So he's going to have to come up with some sort of combination to the body and head to catch Usyk if he wants to get him out of there. Or go full crazy mode and just swing on him. I honestly think that's the best chance he has. I know it might seem like a casual take, but if you really know the two and saw the first fight, that's the only chance that Usyk has. I mean, Dubois has, because Usyk is too good. He outclasses him the entire time. His footwork and his feints are just too good. And I know it's easier said than done because Usyk keeps you at bay. He feints, he jabs, he moves. He makes it very hard for you to pressure him and just say fuck it because of the feinting and footwork. So I understand, but Daniel Dubois just got to say fuck it and run through it if he really has any chance in this fight. There's chances to hurt Usyk. He hurt him to the body. And Usyk's been hurt by Fury a couple times in their fights with uppercuts, so he's got to look for a big shot, and he's got to go for it early, in my opinion. And I did notice Usyk's footwork kind of flattens out in the middle of the fight, so I could be wrong with that. Maybe let Usyk work early in the fight and then go for it in the middle of the rounds. It could be something like that, but it's definitely at a point in the fight where Dubois just got to say fuck it and throw at Usyk. He's got to hurt the body and then just headhunt, in my opinion. I think if he goes predator mode, I think he has somewhat of a chance, but Usyk's too good, so I can't call it for sure either way if that fight plays out that way, but who knows. Usyk kind of makes you play his game for the most part. Now, key to victories for Alexander Usyk. Footwork, footwork, footwork. And feints. Early in the fight, in the first fight, when he was using heavy feints, it really was staggering. Daniel Dubois was really freezing him. So I think as you try to feint as much as possible in this fight, stick that lead hand drop. I'm not cutting it. I don't care. I'm trying to get through this video. Stick that lead hand to the body. Move, circle out, move, stick in. Be unpredictable when you come in because that's what Alexander Usyk's so good at with his footwork. He just randomly explodes in with punches at times, and sometimes combinations, sometimes it's a single punch. Very hard to predict what Alexander Usyk is going to do. So, circle around the ring, score. Fight like Shakur Stevenson this fight. Why not? And that's the thing, though. We've seen that Alexander Usyk is able to hurt Daniel Dubois back. So he's going to be able to play patient at first and get Daniel Dubois a little desperate, a little overeager, and catch him with something. And for Alexander Usyk, I see a lead uppercut because he was looking for it in the first fight. If Daniel Dubois is overexerting the body shots, he might leave himself open for that lead uppercut or maybe a backhand uppercut, which we don't really see Alexander Usyk throw that much, but it could be there. And we can see that the straight left could hurt Dubois. He could hurt Daniel Dubois with his stiff jab. So if you're Alexander Usyk, you should be very confident on however the fight goes. You should be confident, but a firefight he should avoid, obviously, just because of the power of Daniel Dubois. So I don't think Alexander Usyk is going to be out there swinging in the pocket with Daniel Dubois by any means. You need to be moving a lot in this fight. A ton of movement, a ton of body shots to wear down Daniel Dubois. And as time goes on, as he reaches for that body shot to hurt you, boom, lead uppercut, straight left hand behind it, something like that. I can see something like that happening. So I just see Alexander Usyk circling and really just staying active enough to win the rounds. And as the fight goes on, then he looks for the kill shot. Because Alexander Usyk goes for finishes. Especially if it's right there and he has somebody staggered. He wants to finish. And that's very underrated about Alexander Usyk's game. He can hurt anybody. He's a small heavyweight, but he doesn't punch like it because he's so technically sound. The shots land so perfectly, it's going to stagger you. Especially that straight left hand. It's going to be there all day. But I don't think that's what necessarily is going to hurt Daniel Dubois. I think it might be what puts him down. But I see a lead uppercut, straight left hands, boom. I see it happening like that. So, yeah, this activity, feints, and movement is the key to victory for Alexander Usyk. And Dubois is just to stick in there, plot in there, and just swing. So let me know if you guys agree. Now for my official prediction of how I think this fight's going to play out. So, early, I think round 1, unless we get Danny Dubois in an Anthony Joshua fight, which is very possible. I almost think he should take this approach where we've seen it when he just goes. He's dangerous, man. So I think in round 1, if Danny Dubois just goes, which I don't think is going to happen, but I think in round 1 is going to be similar to the first fight. And what happens in most boxing in the first round, they fight for hand and foot position and all that, figure out each other's range. As the fight goes on, Usyk's going to circle around, work the body, get out of there, jab, use his jab, land his straight left hand, and just score points. And I would say the first 3 or 4 rounds, 5 rounds is going to be like that. If Dubois plays into Usyk's game, it's going to happen like that. And I just think it might, just because, like I said before, Usyk makes you play his game. So I see Usyk playing very elusive early after they figure out each other's range. And as the fight goes on, I see him landing his straight left hand more and more, pushing Danny Dubois back more and more as the fight goes on and starts applying the pressure. As Danny Dubois starts to slow down because he's so huge and muscular, those guys just gas out easier, scientifically proven. So I see Usyk staying elusive at first. Danny Dubois starts getting a bit desperate and starts swinging, and Usyk starts countering him. I actually think that there's a real chance that Oleksandr Usyk might have his best performance to date in this fight because of how Danny Dubois might approach this fight. I see that Oleksandr Usyk just outclassing him completely in this fight. And then as time goes on, I really do see a finish on the side of Oleksandr Usyk. I'm not going to lie. I see a finish because Dubois is going to at least get to some point in the fight where he's swinging. I guarantee that. Whether it gets to that point, probably. I don't think Usyk's going to go out there and overexert himself. I don't really see that happening unless Dubois gets hurt. If he runs into a straight left hand or something like that, that could definitely happen. Don't get me wrong, but as the fight goes on, Danny Dubois is going to be trying to work the body because we see that Oleksandr Usyk is weak to the body at points. And I think he's going to get caught by a lead uppercut. I said it before. I think Danny Dubois is going to go to body and it's going to go boom, boom, and he's going to drop Danny Dubois. Whether it's a finish, I don't know. I can see it. Maybe it's like the 3rd knockdown and final knockdown where he catches him with that. But I see the lead uppercut, straight left hand combo, dropping Danny Dubois at some point in the fight. And get him out of there. I'm just going to say it. If it happens, I would say like round 10. I would say round 10 TKO for Oleksandr Usyk with the lead uppercut with the left hand behind it. I don't think you put Dubois out cold, but enough where he doesn't answer the count, kind of similar to the lead jab situation in the last fight. And I just think it's going to be sheer volume type of thing. I think as the fight goes on, it's going to be more and more of Usyk's fight unless he slows down like he did in the other fight. It could make things very interesting if Usyk plateaus in this fight. Because Dubois definitely doesn't plateau in his fights. That's one thing you can say about him. So that could be very interesting. But if I were to bet on it, which kind of the point of this channel, I'm picking Oleksandr Usyk. I want to say unanimous decision. But I just feel so confident. I saw him throw that lead uppercut straight left hand in that fight. And I was like, damn, if that landed, that could be dangerous. So I got Oleksandr Usyk by round 10 TKO over Danny Dubois. I think he easily outclasses him into that point. I hope it's an amazing back and forth fight. But I think Dubois is just going to play into Usyk's cards. Let me know if you guys agree down below. But anyways, man, that's my prediction for Oleksandr Usyk versus Danny Dubois. If you guys disagree, please don't hesitate to comment down below. I love debating in the comments, and it's good engagement. I really do appreciate it. I'm also watching UFC 318, so expect an instant reaction for that too. In the early mornings of Saturday, it's rough, but I'm going to do it anyways. So I'll be dropping my predictions for UFC 318 tomorrow. I think I'm also going to my friend Ian's to do the predictions. So if that's the case, it'll probably be a short on this channel doing the full card predictions, and I'll do my separate prediction video tomorrow on Friday, just letting you guys know. But yeah, man, expect 3 more uploads from me this week. I appreciate you guys waiting throughout the week for me to upload. I feel pretty guilty about it, not being like spreading my uploads throughout the week. But to be honest, I've been sick, dealing with canker sores. If you guys know what that is, I got like 4 or 5 of them in my mouth. I still have them right now, but they've recovered to the point where I can actually talk for the most part. It's been rough, but it's finally to the point where I can record. So that's all that matters to me. But make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that if you want to see more of me. Just relying on the algorithm isn't going to work too well. You're going to miss my posts. So make sure you guys subscribe and turn on notifications if you're watching all the time. Every single one matters. I'm still a small channel trying to grow, so I really appreciate it. But that's all I had to say for today, man. Thank you guys for listening to me out like usual. If you want to follow any of my socials, they're down in the description. If you want to see any more personal stuff from me, God bless every single one of you. And peace out.